Super Bowl 59 is here, and my best bets are on the way. In this video, 3 player props as well as 1 pick on who I think wins this game. If you are new, my name's Austin from Call on Our Shot. Before we dive into those things, we recap how we've done so far in the playoffs. Now, in wildcard weekend, we had an electric week, 6-0. Then divisional round, we went 6-2, pretty solid. Championship weekend was not kind to us, though. A 2-5 day overall in the playoffs, sitting at 14-7. Boy, did I get attacked for that Saquon Barkley under and longest rush. Yeah, I'm still bringing it up. Tough. It is what it is. We're moving on from it. But either way, it's been a great postseason for us, 14-7. Hopefully, we can sweep this video. I will put 2 notes out there. Number 1, we'll have a separate video posted Sunday morning. Logan and I are going to come together, build a parlay for this game. It's going to be around plus 5,000, plus 4,000, somewhere in there. Odds. Check it out. That video should be live on Sunday morning. But without further ado, we're going to dive into the picks. My last note, Betr, right now, one of our newest sponsors. They not only have a Patrick Mahomes free pick out there for you guys, for him to throw the ball 1 time, 1 pass attempt. Are you kidding me? That's free. But again, you get that using my code SHOT, S-H-O-T, when you sign up. They'll also give you a $250 entry match, win or lose. They also have another thing on their app where they're doing like a answer 6 questions right, and you get a share of a 10K pot. Pretty cool. Bunch of other things all out there as well. Check it out. Details down below, as well as a bunch of other sign-up bonuses for PrizePicks. They have a Mahomes free square. Underdog Fantasy has a Kelsey free square. You name it. I'll put all those details down below. Take advantage of all those things, because the Super Bowl is when they go all out. Now's the time to get in on a lot of those apps to take a lot more of their money than you normally would if you were to just sign up on a random Wednesday. Either way, let's dive in the picks. The first one we will dive into is going to be a guy that we got to talk about, and that's Travis Kelce, our first pick in the video. Over 59.5 receiving yards, minus 114 on FanDuel, a simple 1-unit play. Now, Travis Kelce obviously has had an up and down season. We typically see him turn it on in the playoffs, and I really think this is a great matchup for him, whereas it's not a great matchup for the outside receivers against the Eagles. Now, the Eagles have been one of the best defenses in the league. We know it. You could bring up any metric. They're probably going to be top 1 or 2 or 3, and pretty much every single one of those metrics. But I think Kelce is the best matchup for the Chiefs, and he's coming off, obviously, a down game in the AFC Championship where didn't really do a lot. The Bills had kind of had his number this year. Both matchups against the Bills he struggled in. Now, like you said, 2 weeks off. I think Kelce has a big game. I mean, obviously, he's far into his career, so the extra week of rest should get the legs under him. We saw what that did for him in the first round of the playoffs when he destroyed the Texans, and we've obviously seen Kelce step up in the postseason. That's what he does. And you look at him. I know the stats all over the place. In his last 15 playoff games, he's over this line at all but 1 game, 19 yards, what he had in the AFC Championship game. But again, he's been a playoff performer. As I talked about in that game where he had the 2 weeks off, he went out there and had 117 yards. Last year in the Super Bowl, 93. Year against the Eagles, 81 yards. Mahomes didn't even throw for 200 in that game. I'm willing to bank on it. As I talked about, wide receivers against the Eagles really have a tough time this season. The Eagles, fewest yards allowed to wide receivers. They've been one of the toughest matchups. So again, I look for Mahomes to get under pressure. We know the Eagles defense, they'll blitz some, but they also can get a lot of pressure with Jalen Carter up the middle and their other guys on the edge. They'll get pressure. Mahomes is going to have to scramble and look for some guys down the field. I don't see the wide receivers getting open. Instead, Kelce in the biggest game of the year, I expect him to be looking his way. Those two obviously have a great connection. Who knows if this is Kelce's last game of his career? I expect him to, if it is, him to go out on a strong note. I think he probably is back next year, but give me his over 59.5 receiving yards. My first play for Super Bowl Sunday. My second play stays in the same breath because he's a Chiefs pass catcher, and that's going to be Xavier Worthy. I like his under 57.5 receiving yards, minus 111 on DraftKings. Now, Xavier Worthy's obviously come on strong as of late. Towards the back half of the year, they're using him a lot more. And in the playoffs so far this year, he's had 45, and I want to say he had 85 yards against the Bills. I already talked about how tough of a matchup this is. I mean, do I need to bring up again how tough of a matchup it is? Eagles, fewest yards allowed to wide receivers. They've been one of the toughest matchups this season. And I get it. Xavier Worthy's really good, really talented. I don't see him being the big guy on the outside, the guy that can beat man coverage nonstop. Said I could actually see a decent game coming from DeAndre Hopkins, someone else. Worthy at 57.5. That's a very high line. I feel like a lot of his receptions are coming via, those shorter throws, and I expect the Eagles to be able to rally and tackle him in those situations. He can get some rush attempts. Sure, go for it there. Get your yards there. just don't see this being a good matchup for Xavier Worthy. So I'll take his under 57.5 receiving yards, not get too overcomplicated. I like this matchup for Travis Kelce. Hate it for Xavier Worthy. That is going to be my second play in this game. Now I do have a prop on the Eagles side. Not touching a Saquon under, although you can take his under in longest rush. I bet you it pays. I'm going to actually go to a pass catcher for them. My only prop on the Eagles side, we'll have some props in that long shot parlay video on Sunday. So definitely check out that. Might already be live by the time you're watching this. It's going to be Devontae Smith. I like his over 51.5 receiving yards. Now, I considered playing the 50-plus line. That was minus 126, minus 135. I'd rather not lay juice on that. If he ends with 50 or 51 yards, and whatever, I'll take the 1 to hit. He has ended with 51 yards, I think, once this season. But I really like this spot for him. If I think about the Chiefs defense, obviously they're going to be very predicated on slowing down Saquon Barkley. That's obviously your number one thing. I got to slow him down. If you don't slow him down, the rest of the engine gets going, and then you're going to have a tough time stopping this Eagles offense. They might drop a 50 piece on you. Ask the Commanders how that worked. But obviously, I don't expect them to score 50 points, but I expect them to load the box, slow down him. Also have a safety over the top on A.J. Brown. Now, if I am the Chiefs, I'm probably sending a lot of blitzes, forcing Jalen Hurts to make decisions quickly. And I can see Devontae Smith getting open, getting available deep. We know how talented this guy is. There's no weather concern. Sometimes I feel like when he's playing in the cold in Philly, he doesn't have his A game, but obviously no weather concerns here in the Superdome. I expect him to show up. We've actually seen him play pretty well against the Chiefs in his career. Now, in terms of this season, you'll look at him, he's over in 9 of 16 games, not bad. If you want to look at his over in longest reception, it's 20.5, over in 10 of 16. We did take that last week in the NFC Championship. He went over on the hook, so shout out to him. But again, I'd rather take the yards in this one. I think it's a little bit safer here for where I expect his role to be. Like I said, he's been pretty good against the Chiefs. Obviously, take these numbers with a grain of salt, but 3 career games, first time 122, 199 receiving yards. So played pretty well, had 100 in their first Super Bowl matchup 2 years ago. I think it's a good spot for him. Like I said, I don't love A.J. Brown's spot because I expect him to have McDuffie on him, make his life difficult. But Devonta Smith is going to get one-on-one coverage, and I think he has a good shot. I mean, you look at his receptions line sitting at 4.5, about even money both ways. And we've seen, when he gets 4 or more receptions, if you were to sort it by 4 receptions or more, looking at a guy over an 8 of 13 this season, last 20 games over in 14 of 20, averaging 76.5 yards per game. So again, I think this is a better spot for Devontae Smith where it gets one-on-one coverage. All we need is him to break off a big one, which he certainly can, but I think he's going to have some opportunities. I know a lot of people are going to be a Dallas Goedert because the Chiefs have struggled versus tight ends. I don't have a great track record backing tight ends with a 50-yard line. I just don't think I think that's way overvalued for Dallas Goedert. Can he hit it? Yeah, but I think it's a better spot for Devontae Smith. No one's talking about him. No one's going to be on his props. I think this is a great spot to tackle him. I think he has a chance to get 70, 80, maybe 100 yards in this matchup if they're forced to throw, which I expect the Chiefs to make them throw the football. So Devontae Smith, love his over 51.5 receiving yards. Finally, what you've all been waiting for. Who do I think wins this game? Obviously, everyone wants to know, is the Eagles, is the Chiefs? I see this game as a pretty big coin flip, and so do the odds makers. We have the Chiefs as barely favorites, minus 115. I do have an official pick. I do have my own money on this pick, and that is going to be the Chiefs. I'm taking them, though, to win by 1 to 10 points, which is plus 170, only putting a half unit on it. So obviously the Chiefs, we need them to win, and we need them to win by 1 to 10 points. If they win by 11, we're out of luck. But again, if we've talked about the Chiefs, just from this standpoint, this is on FanDuel. If you're a FanDuel bettor, here's how you find it because it's a little bit tricky. You go to the scoring tab. You'll go down, and I believe it's the win margin 10-plus points tab. You can take the one that is 4 different ways, and it's 1 to 13 points. That's like plus 140. I don't really, the Chiefs win by 11, 12, or 13, fine. I'll live with it. But I like this one at plus 170 for a half unit, not risking too much. And I expect the Chiefs to win. They win it close. That's what they've done all season long. 17 wins, including the playoffs. 14 of them have been by 10 or fewer points. Now, obviously, last 2 years ago, they won in the Super Bowl by 3 points in that game. I like them here. And obviously, I'm not going and sleeping at night knowing I bet against Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. And I know that's going to be everyone's analysis. But again, this Chiefs team under Andy Reid with 2 weeks of preparation, we know the stats. They're super, super good. We know how good the Eagles have been. If the Eagles win, I'll lose a half unit. Fine. Worst case scenario, Chiefs win and they win by 11 or more. But the Eagles have been a very good team at keeping games close. And I think at the end of the game, this comes down to the fourth quarter. And I want the ball in Patrick Mahomes' hands than Jalen Hurts. I think the Chiefs defense is able to make stops when they need to, able to blitz Jalen Hurts, make his life difficult. Maybe he makes a mistake. Maybe he takes a couple sacks and that really ruins a lot of Eagles drives. End of the day, I'm trusting Patrick Mahomes with my money. I think this game's a tight one. 1 to 10 points gives us plenty of wiggle room. I think that's kind of how this game goes. So I'll put a half unit on them to win by 1 to 10. I think it's a great bet at plus 170. I know a lot of different books. If you had to place this and they don't have the exact, market here, you'd have to take Chiefs money line, same game parlay that with Eagles plus 10.5 would be the same exact thing as this, but you probably won't get plus 170, whereas you will get it on FanDuel under this market. That same SGP is only like plus 155 on FanDuel. So obviously some value in taking Chiefs to win by 1 to 10 instead of putting it in a same game parlay. But again, I'm rolling with the Chiefs. I think they get the job done. They complete the three-peat. And hey, it's going to be a great game. So to recap all of my picks, I'll do them right here. Kelsey's over in yards. Xavier Worthy under in yards. Devonta Smith's over in yards. And Chiefs to win by 1 to 10 points at plus 170. 3.5 units right now on this game. I'll also have that parlay video. We'll track that one as a 0.1 unit because it's going to be like 0.1 to win 5 units almost. Check that one out. Like I said, it'll be live later on Sunday. So this video drops Friday. Depending on when you're watching it, that video will be live Sunday morning, probably around 7 a.m. So it should be live for pretty much the whole day as we prepare for the Super Bowl. Either way, have a great day. Good luck in the Super Bowl. Let's end the year strong, and hopefully we can end with a very good end of a postseason, which has been a pretty good season for us. So my last reminder, like I said, that parlay video, when it is live, will be linked somewhere on the screen. Check that out. Also, if you want to go sign up for Betr, reminder, use code SHOT. A lot of the other codes are code COS. All the details down below with exactly what you get when you sign up with my codes are all down below in the description. Go check that out. Good luck on Super Bowl Sunday. Good luck to your teams. And let's absolutely sweep the board. From NFL people, I'll see you guys next year. And obviously, you'll see me in plenty of other videos daily. So make sure you subscribe, like, and I'll see you guys in the other videos. Peace.